used to be before this. Yeah. But we're going to be going into this next game, and it is Blitz versus yaamidash. yaamidash, another old head name. Now, I'm not too familiar with Blitz, though. I know Blitz and XJ Cool J, I believe, were teaming together yesterday. I can't remember who they either almost got a win against or did get a win against, but it was a major player. So we know there's potential there from Blitz, and we're seeing some more character diversity here coming out from these two players.
Okay, we're seeing weapons that I expect to also see a fair amount of today, right? We already saw some axe on the side of Bryn, but this time it's going to be sword and axe, okay, on the Maggie there, and on the other side, we have Koji with the bow.
Now, we don't have too many Finnish players, I feel like. Addy was sort of like the one player from Finland representing that country alongside all the Swedes that we used to have in EU Brawlhalla. But now it looks like we have Blitz on the rise for Finland. But yaamidash looking to set up the edge guard. Very reserved on it, doesn't want to go down too early. Again, going for something bold right there in a best of 5. Maybe you let that one rip, get a little bit of punishment, but okay.
How did he
Yo,
do that?
That GCD like to get back on the stage, following that up with the recovery for the KO.
I do not know how Blitz, I saw yaamidash go for side-like D-light on bow, and I think he air dodged down to the ground with the perfect timing to avoid the active hitbox of the D-light and punish with the D-light of his own. That was wild.
Demon behavior coming out. The weapon toss barely gets through that one with the dodge over towards the left side. There's the side light. This time he backdashes, doesn't go for the immediate follow-up after the side light gets punished. D-light side air from Blitz. Of course, D-light side air on this sword, it can take a little while to get the knockout, but when you're playing the Maggie, which means you're playing Jala, you get that high strength. Nice spot dodge there. Instant punish again. Ooh. Blitz and then comes through with the signature. He goes for 2 reactions and then 2 pushes.
Yeah, I was a little bit surprised that he went for that N-sig at the end there just because he had exhausted so many resources. I thought maybe he's going to try to go for the ground pound, but he read a high recovery, was unable to get it, and sometimes you just don't find the read that you're looking for. But despite that, so much damage. I mean, you were just saying it, that's Jala. Yeah,
just a beautiful play there. Going with the N-sig, plenty of room. Yami does land and gets the side light. Weapon toss goes out. Weapon spawn comes in. Blitz has no trouble. It's the axe, which means huge KO potential.
Looking for that hit, goes for the down
so close.
Was trying to catch the toes, but couldn't quite line it up, and yaamidash just runs down with the Sayer. And now we've got a little bit of a corner guard situation. No hit, they're looking for the blows, but they can't touch each other. Again,
Yami very reserved on that corner, doesn't want to push too hard. Oh, goes in, Blitz completely disengages, dodges through the down air. That's going to be an interesting punish. I don't know if Yami expected Blitz to like dash or dodge to the right or something like that. Does find the stock, and a nice lead here. Yami's in the later stages of orange, opens this one up, doesn't really weapon starve too much, now moves over towards it.
Okay, now let's see if Blitz can go ahead and bring things back here. We do know that since this is Jala, you do have access to that D-light chase dodge diagonally into the ground neutral signature that we've seen in the likes of Pugsy so many times in the past. It's not true, but it does have a small dodge window if he's trying to get a very efficient KO.
Okay, a little bit of a push here, a little bit less reservation on the edge guard. We saw the GC neutral signature that burned the dodge for Blitz. That was the signifier for Yami to go in. The recovery's not quite yet. Maybe another one goes for the nair, but the dodge comes out from Yami to escape.
Just trying to find that final blow, and every whip is going to be so much more damage. A weapon throw stuffing out that N-sig coming out from yaamidash, but Blitz just can't find the final blow.
Yami was doing a great job of controlling the ground. Goes for the turnaround side air. Goes for the D-sig. That's going to be a punish. It's a sword neutral light. The fact that that KO'd means that so much damage was built up on that yaamidash second stock. Blitz is going to need something big, Flambeau.
I feel bad because it's like, that's Jala. Like, the whole point of playing this character is you're not supposed to find your KOs that late. So if it's taking you that long, that means Blitz is extremely struggling to find any hit. There's a connection. Going to get an extremely long string to go ahead and try to bring this one back, and that could be the start.
Oh, that ended up knocking out, and yaamidash is going to go up 1-0 in this game. Man, 645 damage coming out from yaamidash. It didn't feel like it took that much damage. It's a little bit inefficient in terms of the amount of damage it takes, but like the pacing really wasn't terrible. So it took a lot of damage, but it was in a relatively short period of time. So the pacing overall, the velocity, if you will, was still a solid average.
I feel like on the side of yaamidash, sure, got a lot of damage, but one thing that he did not struggle with was finding the setups, right? If I find my D-Light on bow into the recovery, that's going to lead to a knockout. Cool, if I get my D-Light recovery on sword or my D-Light Sayer, that's gonna lead to a knockout. When he was able to get Blitz to those high damage ranges, he was able to find his move that led to the KO. On the other side though, Blitz just kind of ended up swinging. Would try to get the D-Light, it wouldn't hit. Would try to get the Sayer, it wouldn't hit. A straight recovery, not enough juice on it. Just couldn't get the juice.
Now we're seeing Blitz change things up. Carrot juice, no thank you. I'm looking for some nice and sweet pineapple juice coming out from Blitz. Of course, picking the Val. Almost, I don't know if this is an homage to Addy Mestic here with the classic Dragon Slayer Val setup. It is not the white color scheme though. That is the classic Addy Mestic setup. So a little bit of a yoinkin' twist, if you will.
Oh, and still taking quite a bit of damage, but at least on the Val, you have a fair bit more defense than you did in comparison to the Jala, so we should be able to see Blitz surviving for quite a bit longer here, and considering the fact that Yaamidash had to do so much damage in that first game, it should extend these stocks a little bit more.
You're also going to have some quickness in terms of the startup on both weapons coming out from Val. You're going to have solid startup frames coming out with the gauntlets, well, really solid everything coming out from gauntlets, and then you're going to be able to match Yami in terms of the sword on the Val pick as well. Okay, coming in, nice recovery there, hits the side air, setting up the edge guard, beautiful weapon toss. Didn't need the huge hitbox of the axe, so it seems like Blitz might just be a Val play.
And I feel like I love the Val pick as an option here. I mean, gauntlets are one of the most popular weapons in the metagame right now, and it's no surprise to me that we're going to see Val here and probably a lot throughout the day because of that affordance. You can hit them off stage, you can rack up that damage, you can get those early KOs, and you can turn around a bad situation in the blink of an eye.
Now you're seeing that survivability coming through. It was almost a minute and a half for Yaamidash to take away this first stock, and that's that defensive Val that you were talking about earlier. So if Yami was having to do 645 damage against a Jala, I'm scared to think about the numbers that it might take to take out this Val pick coming out from Blitz. Maybe not. Okay, Yami is not going to go in too hard, does find a nice down air, doesn't go in too recklessly after it seemed like Blitz might have fallen.
One thing I do love about Blitz is that Blitz has thrown out that Val side sig over the edge with sword at least 2 times now, and despite the fact that it hasn't hit either time, he's already instilling the fear into Yaamidash that it's something he's willing to go for, so that he can maybe bait out a panic option later, or maybe not even need to do that with the way these gauntlets going off.
Went for the neutral signature as well, happened to pick the wrong direction. If he would have gone for the 50-50 the other direction, it might have actually made contact, so you see a good thought there coming out from Blitz, and I believe in this event, Blitz is seeded like 145th.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So, and Yami, I believe, is like 69th seed, so huge discrepancy between these two, and Blitz is the one in the lead here.
Right, and with the gauntlets in hand as well, just secured stock, sending Yaamidash off stage, and the weapon throw down air is going to be a really popular option to get at a disadvantage from these gauntlets. You can see he throws the gauntlets away again. Looks like he's leaning in a bit more into the weapon throw as a neutral option to kind of go ahead and break the mold, since he is going to be outranged by that bow.
Now, we do have a total of 4 players making it out of pools. 2 on the top side, 2 on the bottom side. This is going to be Blitz and Yaamidash fighting to move out of pools on the elimination side of the bracket. On the top side of this, Kresu made it out and Stingray made it out. Blitz ended up losing to Stingray, and that's why they find themselves down here. It was a 2-0, so that was a tough set for Blitz. He's looking to turn this one around to make it out of pools here against Yaamidash, and it's looking like we are going to see the 1-1, which means a game 3.
Okay, just like that, manages to get a sidelight recovery because there was a burn dodge there, which meant that the conversion was true and was able to go ahead and bring this to a game 3. So we have ourselves a bit of a slugfest here. Now, granted, we're looking at the stage selection, and I think that they ended up going to a little bit smaller of a stage. Miami Dome has those high platforms, right? Makes it a little bit awkward in terms of trying to maneuver around certain moves. They didn't have a spear in that game, so you didn't have to worry about that. But with the one platform that you have with Apocalypse, also with the slanted side corners, means that some Sayers from Sword can really cause a problem.
Are you thinking stage is making a huge difference here or not?
I feel like now that gauntlets are a factor, you have to think about it.
Okay, and definitely on a map with a short sidewall, if you're looking at a Val, I'm not taking a Val to a shorter sidewall map whatsoever, especially the way we saw Blitz using those sword side signatures over the corner, like you pointed out before.
Now, granted, as the game has started off, it looks like yaamidash going ahead and trying to bring some of this damage deficit back and manages to find a hit here or there, but we can see the Val defense making every slice, every arrow from Koji hit that less hard.
And I think that's why we're still seeing, okay, after that neutral light, but before that, Blitz was still in the yellow, even though Yami found a lot of hits. It's little bit by little bit. The ability to not take quite as much damage, to extend it a little bit further, of course, helps with the knockback there. Going for the gravity cancel neutral signature coming out for Blitz, hoping for a big one. GCD light into the side air. Blitz getting a little bit cheeky, burning those dodges in the air in order to turn his aerial moves into grounded moves.
See, Blitz is looking for that weapon. That was a bit brave.
Yep.
He's gonna pay for it, possibly with the stock here.
Oh, he tried it. He tried it. He knew the GCD light was coming, or at least some other KO move that was gonna make a connection. So he thought, oh, I'm just gonna get over and then get away as fast as I could. But he didn't actually get the touch. He ended up pulling to the right too quickly. So you see like the mechanical attempt there. I think it was probably virtually impossible to touch and get away in time without getting hit.
Yeah, and that's one of those moments where the speed stat really does come into play. You have a little bit more speed, can drift a little bit faster to that wall to get off of it, but not going to be able to work there.
Ends up going in, back-to-back ground pounds, one from Blitz, then one from Yami. We do see the KO coming out from Blitz. Went all the way to the top before throwing that weapon. It's going to delay the weapon spawn a little bit, but it comes into the left side soft platform. Yami's over there. He's able to grab that sword. Nice two-piece coming out from Blitz.
And now this is pretty much as even as it can get. We haven't seen too much, honestly, in terms of offstage play from these gauntlets. Nothing like an early KO, not grabbing anybody with these nairs and throwing them off the stage, but has been playing fairly solid despite that fact. And yaamidash now taking quite a bit of damage from Blitz's sword.
The sword's actually really looking good here. Maybe I want to see him focus on that a little bit more. D-Light side air coming out from Blitz. Attempt to move over, put a little bit of pressure on Yami. He's able to get back to the main platform. Sword v sword. Either player could make the move, and it's going to be Yami going first. Over back to the bow. He's been playing some really solid bow so far. Nice side air punish. Side light punish. Doesn't go for anything too crazy off the stage. D-Light side air for Blitz. Weapon toss. He's going to be looking for the spawn.
Nice. Was able to bait out all the options there and get a punish with an unarmed Sayer and managed to go ahead and push yaamidash into the corner, but then just kind of threw the weapon away.
And because of that, Yami has control of the weapons here. Blitz at the disadvantage, but one comes in high, right on top of Blitz. He grabs it. It's back to sword v sword.
Okay, now it's a question of who's going to get the next D-Light realistically at this point, and it looks like it's going to go ahead and be Blitz who manages to pick up that recovery to secure the KO, and now yaamidash is going to come back with a fresh stock, has a bow queued up next, I believe, and could go for D-Light recovery.
You're exactly right, Flambeau. We see the side air going in. We see yet another side air coming in, setting up, goes for the GC neutral signature to put out a hitbox and also get the wall touch, just barely gets away from that weapon toss.
Oh, and I like the exhausted recovery attempt from Blitz there as well. Needs to get back onto the stage. You can see that wall slip coming into play here. Forces him to come up a little bit earlier than I think he'd like to and gives yaamidash an opportunity to set up a corner guard, but ends up fumbling the bag.
You saw the side light coming out from Blitz there. He wasn't quite in the space to be able to get the D-Light in time. Weapon toss down, neutral air up. Yami has his choice of weapons, going to be juggling. Is he going to stick with the bow? Yes, he is. Blitz is going to be looking for the next weapon spawn to come in. Center stage after he hits the side light. It's the gauntlets, throws out the D-Sig, no shot. He's going to get punished for that one.
Okay, yaamidash is playing a lot slower now, right? Kind of biding time, trying to stick in the corner, but now switching spots here. Watch out for the exhausted recovery. Gets a Sayer anyway. He needs to make it back to the stage. You can see Blitz going for the hard read, saying, I think you're going to jump over me and let the N-Sig rip, but yaamidash stays grounded and is going to see if he can get these juggles going. This could be bad, though. No dodge on him.
Blitz knows this is a high-pressure situation for Yami. Blitz is heavily in the lead, has the KO damage on him. He knows this is a game 3 in the best of 3. Puts the pressure on, pedal to the metal, and Blitz takes it over yaamidash.
Okay, I like what we saw there, honestly, from Blitz. Obviously, the swap over to Val was the play, right? The Jala was not doing it. It wasn't able to hang. It falls asleep early at the party. You know, like it was chill.
It's getting all kinds of things drawn on his face in Sharpie.
Yes, like Jigglypuff is just going wild, right?
Yes.
Like, oh
yes.
man. But I mean, Val, on the other hand, was
That's
able
the
to
pick.
rock with him.
That's the pick. Not only was it a strong character that he chose, but also kind of split the damage between the two weapons, at least in that final game. 302 damage on the gauntlets, 250 on the sword. So a nice spread between the two. Obviously, we saw incredible sword play. We saw incredible gauntlet play. We saw great signature usage as well. Used them in the right places, found some KOs, threw them out as a threat without getting punished. So really good work from Blitz to clutch that one out. That was a crazy set with really high stakes on it just to get out of pools.
I know, that's like, it's wild to say, right? Like, that's just to get out of pools, loser's side.
Yep.
Like, it's like, okay,
Yep.
really got killers in this bracket. I mean, just taking a look even at some of these stats here, 623 damage dealt by Blitz in that last game there. We even got a peek at some of the damage graphs here, where Blitz, honestly, I mean, the data speaks for itself. Toward the end of that last game, just kind of was waiting for the moment to find the KO,
Yep.
really just kind of cemented himself in the ground and said it's just a matter of time.
And looking at the PRs here, that is going to give EU some bragging rights for that one, because it's PR 56 from EU, taking out PR 35 from North America. That's almost a top 32 player. Blitz almost doubles the PR there. Does that mean that EU PR 56 equals NA PR 35? Flambeau, as an NA player, oh, please, no, I can't.
I mean,
I
I don't
that.
know if I can like co-sign that. You know what I mean?
My knees are wobbly. I don't want to hear that from EU.
It was just, I don't want to call it a fluke because, you know, I got to give respect where respect.